right, what's our final thoughts, Craig? We've covered a lot of stuff in this episode. We've really scratched the surface. A lot of things that we have spoken about are new. Some of them have been in beta. We've been testing them. There's a lot to unpack. And you know, on this podcast, one of our mantras is we don't talk about stuff we haven't used or tried out. And like we said previously with the developer tool side of it, Craig and myself don't heavily use the developer side. Some of our team use some of it, but we're not experts at it, right? So we pass you on to friends of ours that are actually good at that, or even the theme developers. But really, who is Content Hub for, Craig?
I like to think of this in two main audiences. So there's the existing HubSpot customers, and then there's new HubSpot customers, or they're probably not customers yet, new prospects or opportunities, right? Which is obviously the big market out there. For your existing HubSpot customers, I think this is about interrupting and reminding them that HubSpot does websites. So this is a mind share issue. A whole bunch of marketing managers, when we chat with them, they go, oh yeah, look, so we love Marketing Pro and workflows. It's all great. Now we're going to get a website built over in some other tool. I'm like, oh, why don't you build it in HubSpot? They're like, what do you mean HubSpot? Oh, you know, HubSpot's got a website, Pete. No, I didn't. Like there's the mind share is not there. So part of this push, especially the Marketing Plus and the Content Hub naming, I think is to get mind share with existing customers. There's a big opportunity there for HubSpot they should be doing website stuff. And it's so good. As you and I know, Ian, we've built, decades of building WordPress stuff. We moved all our development of websites over to HubSpot, 3 or 4 years ago. And we love it. So it's not something we're just recommending because we're HubSpot partners. We walk the talk. We've got all our sites on HubSpot. In fact, I think this is such a compelling offering for customers, their website piece. We've got a whole separate brand called Zen Create we've been building out over the last year. Big focus on HubSpot websites. I'm that much of a believer in it. And the team love it. And so that's the big opportunity. So that's existing customers. It's about mind share and I guess getting in their mind that it is a compelling option. It's not just some glorified landing page tool. It's actually an enterprise website tool. Now, when it comes to new customers, this is where it's also kind of, a huge opportunity. I was looking on G2 and they've got at least 370 web content management platforms.
Wow.
Yeah, and if you go in the website builder category,
yeah,
things like Wix, etc.
Yep.
There's more. I think there's 400 or 500. So it's crowded. And HubSpot, even though it's pretty highly rated, it's just one amongst a sea of options. So again, here's this mindshare thing. It's missing. And by the way, over on Gartner's list of web content management companies, I couldn't even find HubSpot, right? So even big industry bodies don't know about it. So I think the push here is Content Hub. They're really trying to get out there and say, look, we do website, we do content. They're even pushing into that whole digital asset management, the whole DAMS space.
Correct.
So Content Hub, the launch of it is just the start of it. They're trying to break that barrier, that mindshare piece, demonstrate that this is a compelling tool for enterprise as well. So that means this is an interruption launch, in my mind, that you can get the benefits of an integrated system to an audience of marketers. I think the main audience is marketers. I don't think it's technical IT people, although there is messaging for them. I think it's mainly marketers. And it's for those that didn't realize that they could do it with their existing HubSpot platform, or if they don't use HubSpot, that it's an option to do with the HubSpot platform. And I'm kind of really excited to see where this goes. That's my kind of read of the tea leaves. What's your thoughts, Ian?
I think you're right, Craig. It is targeted at marketers because of it's just a place to easily manage everything. When you talk about content as a whole, it's the one place to go and you can do it all and you can do it fast. This is the other thing. When people switch and they use it all in the platform, right? Their ability to get stuff done at a speed that they could never get it done before is one of the biggest bits of feedback we get. It's easy to use. We can get it done. We have the tools. It's within our reach. We can test new things. So even just the little things. I want to test this. Oh, this page is not performing like I thought it would. How can I test another version of it? Just little things like that. You should see the joy it brings to people's faces where they talk to you and they say, oh, I just decided to run this test and this one's performing really well. I think we're going to switch to this version. I'm like, thank God you did it and we didn't have to do anything because you had the right tools to get your job done and get a better result. And I think that's the whole thing. Empower the marketers to do what they do best around content and give them all the tools that they need. And that's where this is going to go.
And with a similar experience. So I think you're absolutely right. And you go to a marketer, you go, oh, do you like using the email tool? Oh, yeah, it's great. I just drag and drop stuff on. I build my emails. Oh, would you like exactly the same experience to build a landing page? What do you mean? Oh, yeah, here. Yeah. Go and create a landing page. Same template we set up. Oh, great. Oh, wow. I can just build a page like this. Same experience. Great. That is an unlock for many marketers. And especially in enterprise where they're like, oh, we have a whole dev team or an outside agency that build our website and do new pages. Like, you mean I can just build it myself? Yeah. Oh, is that dangerous? No, because you've got approval process you can build in and you've got a brand kit so you know the colors are going to be set. Oh, and you've got this file manager that can optimize file. Oh, and you update a file and it goes throughout this. Oh, wow. And I can see reporting over it. That's a pretty compelling conversation.
So Craig, comparing Content Hub to WordPress. Let's talk about that quickly.
I think we have to because that's the reference everyone looks at, WordPress. It doesn't matter if they're an enterprise, they're using Sitecore or Adobe Site Manager or whatever. WordPress is really where the mindshare people know. So how does it compare? And I feel the conversation around success using Content Hub or WordPress, which one's the best one to use, is not really around platform capability. I think it's around people capability because I've seen plenty of WordPress sites that were excellent and I've seen plenty that were terrible. And it's not the platform that we've changed. It's the team that were building it. Likewise with HubSpot, I've seen some terrible HubSpot website implementations, slow as, a wet week and, just terribly implemented or they weren't using drag. Like I've seen them, terrible ones, and I've seen excellent ones as well. So it's not the platform. I would confidently say, anything you can do just about in WordPress, you can do in HubSpot. So it's around the resources you have available. So when to switch to HubSpot versus when to stay with WordPress? Well, if you've got a great WordPress site and you've got an excellent team that know how to update it rapidly and keep it optimized, why would you change? I would have a hard time saying, oh yeah, easy decision. But if you're looking, as many do, we're going to refresh our website this year, we're looking to, update design and everything, it's a complete rebuild, I'll be saying, very strongly consider HubSpot CMS. So it's not really about, we've got something that's working well, why should I move? Immediate ROI? No, that'd be a harder conversation, but if you've got a terrible website, it's time to rebuild, really look at HubSpot. Now, where does it shine? I feel it's not the size of the company, I think it's the type of website. So if you're after beautiful marketing and sales focused sites, HubSpot is a great fit. And if you're looking at integrating that in your marketing tool suite and doing reporting and attribution across it, HubSpot, it's just compelling. When wouldn't you do it? Well, there's a couple of scenarios we've got because we've still got a bunch of sites on WordPress that I'm not going to bring to HubSpot. Why? Well, one is if they've got a ton of comments, it's very hard to migrate comments from WordPress over. And I think it used to do this years ago, but I think they stopped it. And there's just and we've got posts that have thousands of comments on some of my wife's sites. Can't bring it over. E-commerce tools, because essentially if you're using WooCommerce in WordPress, moving to HubSpot, you're probably going to move the e-commerce stuff to
Shopify.
Now, if that's a simple piece, great. And then you can use HubSpot for your main website. But if not, and we've got a bunch of legacy sites and that, we're still using WooCommerce, so we're not going to move them off WordPress. So I wouldn't try it. And then the other thing is if it's got lots of legacy functionality.
Correct.
Just why would I? The ROI is not going to be there in mine. Now, that's just our particular scenario. Your mileage will vary. And so it's really about requirements. And the summary for me, I'm interested in your thoughts, Ian. Resources you have available, legacy functionality and content, ROI expectations, and future requirements. Would you add anything to that?
Yes, I'm going to add one thing, Craig, and this comes up often. and these are people that have websites generally on WordPress. They have a lot of issues with updates that get rolled out, so things break on their site.
Oh, yes.
That's one. The other thing is their hosting is slow. So I often tell people they buy cheap hosting I call it like living in a bad neighborhood where windows get broken, you get things thrown on your lawn because they don't want to pay for the upkeep. And I think and I know for a fact on HubSpot, I've never heard anybody tell me, oh, my website's running really slow. I can't access it. It's someone's hacked it. They've done something. I've never had that experience because HubSpot's infrastructure is the enterprise infrastructure that we work off, and everything's looked after. Like, I don't have to worry about that headache of knowing things are not going to work. I know they're always running, and I know if something does happen, they have the team behind them. And you're able to contact them. The support's great. That's a really big thing, like support. Like people forget. With all of these, we're talking about Content Hub, right? We're talking about tools here. And we talked about functionality and systems. We're also talking about the people behind it and the support we get. We love HubSpot support. We talk to HubSpot support teams that are all over the globe because we know we kind of work in different time zones, so we get to experience them. And you know what? You always get they're on top of stuff and they understand it. If they can't give you the answer straight away, they'll always get back to you. But most of the time, they fix it while we're on the call. And I think you should not forget that if you're considering Content Hub and you think about, oh, who's going to support this, or what if they've got a question? One of the biggest things I can say is use the HubSpot chat support or the phone support if you're using professional version of the product and get the answer. Don't be afraid to ask the questions because they will point you in the right direction. Now, there is currently, you'll see in support, they're using the chat AI to point you towards the right support article. So it's kind of trying to get you to help yourself. If you don't get the answers, then talk to support, but it's still very good. So I think that's a really big point. So the whole hosting side of this and the updates is another big consideration when we talk to people about migrating to HubSpot because they can spend. I know there are businesses we work with, they've got somebody that spends a whole day or even longer updating WordPress and checking WordPress updates. Now, they don't really count the cost of that in the whole scenario, but I kind of think, hang on, you could have done this and be well on the way to doing other things. There's one person here doing this stuff that really can be done by the system. That's all I want to say.
That's such a good point. Yeah, that's such a good point, Ian. Support. And isn't this the case? We take it for granted so much, we don't even call it out. Or I don't, but you're so right. It's such an important piece, yeah.